So Nicolas Darvas was a dancer. He was a ballet dancer, self-taught investor and author. He is best known for his book, How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market. Nicolas Darvas was offered a job by a Canadian company and they offered to pay him stock. And for some reason he couldn't do the job, but instead he offered to buy the stock anyway as an apology. Now he bought $3,000 at 50 cents of Breland. After a few months, it was then quoted at 190, and he turned his 3,000 into 8,000. Suddenly, Nicolas Darvas, who was making all his money as a ballet dancer, had found this new way of making money. He was ecstatic. He was excited. He thought, right, I'm going to carry on with the ballet dancing. I'm going to start investing everything I can into the stock market. He decides to get into New York and to get a broker, and he starts investing like crazy into stocks. Now, the next thing that happens is a nightmare for Nicolas Darvas, because he suddenly realizes that not all stocks go up. Everything crashes. He loses a lot of money. I think he could have easily just thrown in a towel, but he carried on trying to learn. He starts to read, he starts to want to understand, and this is what sets Nicolas Darvas apart from many. Being a great ballet dancer, he was offered to perform all around the world, and he was heading out to places like Japan and Paris. Instead of being at the forefront of the New York Stock Exchange and essentially investing in stocks every day, he was forced to actually have to call his stockbroker from a long way away, and he would have to have journals and publications sent to him by post so he could keep track of his stocks. Now, what this did is this forced Nicolas to think differently, to not act on his impulses. It taught him to really sit back and study everything about a stock before he actually took a bet on them. And then through this actually was very beneficial for him, because he could actually sort of master a few rules. And these are some of the rules that Darvas actually formulated during his time while he was traveling. All losses must be cut at a 6% loss, no exceptions. Never sell a rising stock, never listen to tips or stories, master your emotions. He's also very famous, and a lot of day traders will be very aware of his box theory. Now, this is not something I want to go into. The book does go into it in a lot of detail, but really this is just something that he managed to... He created this box theory really to know exactly when to buy and sell a stock. Darvas liked to invest in what were at the time groundbreaking companies, and I believe these were the Tesla and the Netflix and possibly the BPs of the world. Big companies and sometimes forward-thinking companies, Zenith Radio, Fairchild Camera, and Thiokol Chemical. So he really liked stocks with high volatility, things that were really of the moment. So between 1952 and 1959, he had hit his 2 million, and he therefore became one of the most renowned investors of the time, going from essentially nothing to 2 million. And he wrote this book, which became very popular. A lot of people actually questioned him whether he was legitimate or whether he had made it up, and he had to sort of produce receipts and things like this. And I think that kind of adds to the story, really. And I really felt I connected with him because he is one of us. He's not a day trader in New York, and he actually found that being away and working in Japan at a distance from his stocks, he managed to actually achieve his goals. And sometimes I think that's probably the big lesson, is when you've got to think what your end goal is. Is it to be up and down every day stressing about your stocks, or is it in the long term to build money and to build a good financial grounding?